All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening, wherever in the world you're watching. It's evening where I am in the United Kingdom. It's been a long time I did one of these, but hey, we're back and it's the first day in April, and it's a good day to just get started to do the things that you say you would do. I took a break from the social media and the likes pretty much the first quarter of the year, and today was the day to get started. So wherever you're watching from, let me know as I get ready to begin to teach on what I call power principles. So if you're watching, if you're on YouTube, if you're on any of my Facebook channels, please go to YouTube and subscribe. Go to YouTube and subscribe. I would appreciate if you can go to YouTube and subscribe to Aaron Coaching. Aaron T. Aaron Coaching. Go to YouTube and subscribe to Aaron T. Aaron Coaching. Whenever you're watching this, I would like you all to subscribe to Aaron T. Aaron Coaching. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know where you're watching from. And if you're on Facebook, if you're on any of my Facebook groups, please go to Aaron T. Aaron Coaching and subscribe, and then click the notification button so that you would know anytime I'm live or doing a teaching or doing an interview. You can follow us on YouTube. So hey guys, please let me know if you're subscribed. You can send a message. I'll be able to see it. Please go on YouTube, go to Aaron T. Aaron Coaching and subscribe and click the notification button. Aaron T. Aaron Coaching, Aaron T. Aaron Coaching on YouTube, and subscribe and click the notification button so that you would know whenever I'm live or on live stream, and you can follow any of the teaching. So today, hello and welcome everybody. I'm trusting that you've had a good day and that you haven't been a victim of April Fool today. So thank you for joining me in this series titled Power Principles, and we're looking at this concept of self-awareness. We're looking at this concept of creating a new learning model of achievement. Once again, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Aaron T. Aaron. People know me as so many things. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a worship leader, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, a trainer, a mentor. And before I jump into the introduction and this first power principle, so what's going to happen is every Thursday, for as long as I can, I'm going to show up here every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. and just teach. Just show up every Thursday evening and bring some kind of lesson that you and I can learn from. So you'll be able to either get it on YouTube or get it on any of the Facebook groups. But I want to be committed to doing that at least for the next few months, and just really bring in a lesson that you and I can learn from and share some wisdom. I hope that is helpful. So today, I'm looking at this first power principle that I call understanding. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to my entire team. Thank you to members of my team who just helped me really look good. I am blessed with a really good team. And many hands make my work really light. So, and that's been the case even with this. Different people have just made it possible for me to show up here and share any wisdom that God has blessed me with people. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join the streams wherever you are. Wherever you are, let me know where you are actually. Are you on Facebook? Are you on YouTube? You can type in the comments so I can see. Are you on Facebook or are you on YouTube? If you're on Facebook, please do not forget to click the subscription. Go to YouTube and type in Aaron T. Aaron Coaching. We're building a YouTube channel, so help me drive it all up. Aaron T. Aaron Coaching on YouTube, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're there, you can also do the Aaron T. Aaron Music, which is my music channel, and equally subscribe to my two channels. But guess what? What then happens is every time I go live, if you click the notification buttons, bell, what you will find out is every time I go live, you would be alerted. So I want to really, really thank everybody who's listening and everybody who would listen later. Whatever you find as a lesson or something you pick up, make some notes in the comment section. I will be reading them and I'll see them. And you know, here's something that I've realized that's really powerful. It is very possible in our lives to have a real belief that's based on a lie. It's very possible to have a real belief that's based on a lie. And for so many people, and they've had this belief that Academically, they are incapable of learning anything new. And unfortunately, when you do those kind of things, what happens is then you rise to those expectations. Many of you don't think you can ever be wealthy. Many of you don't think you can ever amount to anything. When you have such beliefs, you begin to rise to those expectations of yourself. In fact, I'm beginning to consider something that I actually say to people. Hey, I'm considering something I actually tell people, where we tell ourselves to push ourselves to our potentials. Sometimes, even with this whole conversation around potentials, it's really our perception of what our potentials are. So it's, are you really living up to your potentials? Or are you living to what your perception of your potentials are? So we really have to be careful about the expectations we actually set for ourselves. I found out that on the playground of life, kids can be cruel. If you went to any primary school, certainly if it's in the country where I grew up in, kids can really be cruel. 5, 6 year old kids, playing on the playground, on the merry-go-round, or any of those things, they have a way of identifying any difference there is with anybody, right? All they've got to do is identify that your left nostril is bigger than your right nostril or something like that, and that's it. That's it. One kid comes up to you and says, your left nostril is bigger than your right nostrils. Your ear is big. Anyone gone through those kind of experiences? And by the end of the day, everyone around the school is calling you by whatever you've been identified. It's now music. I was one of those kids who was that kind of I won't say bully, but I was one of those naughty ones. And there's this book called The True Believer. The True Believer was written by a guy called Eric Hoffer, and he said something that I think is pretty profound. He said that in order for us to learn anything, it requires a certain degree of confidence. In order for you and I to learn anything, it requires a certain degree of confidence. He said, if you have too little confidence, you think you cannot learn. And if you think you have too much confidence, then you think you don't have to learn. I hope you're following me. Sometimes in life, what you really need is a completely new direction. Most times in life, in fact, almost every time in life, we need to appreciate new directions. What you need is a completely new direction. You do not need motivation. You need some understanding, a better understanding of how to achieve. And part of that understanding is what I'm going to share with you in this series around power principles. And without a doubt in my mind, I'm going to share what I perceive with regards to understanding. The understanding you received from this principle that I'm going to be sharing over the next few weeks in this series, I believe would literally change your life and every area of your life. We can hear somebody say that, that something changed my life, changed their life. And almost as a passive listener, it becomes hard to believe, right? Unless you've experienced it. The challenge is just that many of us just lack the awareness and belief and the principles that I'm going to share over this next few weeks. So my goal here for you today is to share, and over this next few weeks, is to share principles that I think would help you and I in a very meaningful way. Principles that I think would help you and I in a very meaningful way. And I want to do that with authenticity, and share in a very authentic way. And I'm not necessarily worried if I communicate perfectly, right? If you're going to judge me on my communication, I'm not necessarily worried if I communicate perfectly. What I want to do is I want to connect with you over this next few weeks. And I've purposely kept these lessons as short as possible. I want to be able to listen to them. I want you to be able to listen to them and get some real meat. There's a lot of programs on the market today. There are a lot of teachers in the market today that have a lot of stuff. And I'm intentionally doing my best to make sure this is content that you possibly can walk away with right now. So the series of the power principles that I'm going to share will not only transform your method of achieving your goals and dreams, but I believe would also shift your old traditional beliefs and judgments. I guarantee, I want to say that, I actually guarantee All of the power principles that I'm going to be sharing, or the teachings I'll bring every Thursday at 7:30, will shape our learned model process of achieving the life you desire, and helping you actually even in the life you deserve, the life for you and I to come to that place where we begin to actually go for the life that is truly and rightfully yours to claim, a fully rewarding and successful life. So each principle I'm going to be sharing over this next few weeks, as I lay the foundation today, each principle I believe would open a door to a new awareness and will guide your daily practices, that will tear down the walls of limiting beliefs, limiting principles that's prevented you from your full achievement and you living what I call a beautiful and successful life. The power principles that I'm going to be sharing over the next few weeks will change your decision making, which will change your life as you see it and as you live it today. So these principles, in my opinion, will wash away your fears that you don't deserve, and those fears that makes you feel that you don't deserve the best or that you can't achieve your true desires. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I'm going to be sharing things that I believe would help you enhance your vision beyond your wildest dreams. Because indeed, everyone who's listening to me right now, be alive or listening, success can be yours and success will be yours. In fact, that's a good place to type something. Success is mine. Success can and success will be yours. So why do I call these power principles? Well, I've had the privilege, I've learned and tested each of these principles through experience, and I've personally formed on my journey to a successful, rewarding life using these principles. And for me, that's powerful. And let me help you understand the concept of power principles. Here's the concept. I've learned that the way we do everything in our life, if you're listening, the way we do everything in our life is based on a learning model, that has been created by our awareness and our belief and understanding we have of these principles. Now, these learning models that we've formed are ultimately maintained or supported by our conditioning, and our habits, right? Our conditioning and our habits. So listen, do you know that the way you get dressed in the morning, the way you tie your shoes, the way you put your pants on, the way you drive your car, the way you make decisions, the way you interact with your loved ones, your co-workers, the way we make decisions about maintaining our body temple, our eating habits, our physical activities, all of this operates through a learning model. If you're just joining, please go to Aaron Coaching on YouTube and just click the subscribe. Share this with your friends. Let's get as many people listening to us, following these teachings on YouTube over this next few weeks. Please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you would know every time I'm coming live. So listen, the way you get dressed in the morning, the way you tie your shoes, the way you eat, the way you drive your car, the way you make decisions, the way we interact with our loved ones and our co-workers, the way we make decisions, even about maintaining our health, about maintaining our body temple, our eating habits, our physical habits, our physical activities, all of these operates through what I call a learning model. So as I'm becoming aware of this understanding of why we do what we do and why we don't do some of the things that we really want to do, I've realized that those learning models are based on three things. Are you ready? So I want us to be as interactive as possible. Our learning models are typically based on three things. First, they are based on our level of our awareness of our potential, like I was sharing earlier, based on three things. First, they are based on our level of our awareness of our potential. Number one. Two, they are based on the awareness of the opportunities right in front of us. Number one, based on our level of the awareness of our potentials. Number two, the awareness of the opportunities that are right in front of us. And number three, awareness of maybe future pitfalls, obstacles, challenges that we may face. So many of us will not even get into anything only because we are afraid of what is in front of us. Is this helping? So let me say that again. Awareness of the opportunities right in front of us, awareness of maybe the future pitfalls, obstacles, and challenges that we may face. Number one was based on our level of awareness of our potentials. If that's helpful, please type. For most of our lifetime, what we found out is that we have been programmed. Yes, you listening, we have been programmed. We have been programmed to believe that we had to be in the right place at the right time if we're going to win. In fact, many of you are listening to me right now. You've prayed that prayer. Father, I want to be at the right place at the right time. You've prayed that prayer. You can be at the right place at the right time and still not win because you do not have the awareness of what it takes to win. And you see, I found that to be a lie because I know in my life, and perhaps you've also experienced this, that in my life, in your life, there have been times when you were right at the right place. You were at the right place at exactly the right time. And while everybody around you is winning, you are losing. Do you know the amount of people who are complaining of the coronavirus? And in this same season, people are winning. In the same season, people are winning. So it's not just about being in the right place at the right time. We are always in the right place at the right time. That's how God has created things. Wherever you are right now, whatever country, whatever nation, is the right place and it's the right time. So we're always in the right place at the right time. It's about having the awareness of your potential while you're there. The awareness of your potential while you're there. See, I found without awareness that our potential, we can absolutely be in the right place at the right time and not see opportunities in front of us. Once you begin to master the principles within what I call a learning model of achievement, you would find even if you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can win. You would find out that even be at the wrong place, be in the wrong nation, be in the wrong country, but if you have the right level of awareness, you still can win. Because the potential for winning is with you always. It's always on the inside of you. Now, you can find people who are saying that currently we're in a down economy, a down market, the markets are down. This is the wrong time to do anything. This is the wrong time to do any investment. This is whatever it is, right? And while everyone else is playing it safe, but guess what? As you expand your awareness, as you expand your awareness of your potential, as you expand your awareness of your self-belief, and you begin to apply some of these principles I'm going to be sharing over the next few weeks, you're going to find out that you can win regardless of any condition and circumstance that you find yourself. I hope that's helpful. You can win regardless of any condition and circumstance that you find yourself. All you have to do is get into the right awareness. So as you would see, that it has very little to do with being in the right place at the right time. And it has everything to do with being aware of your potential. Are you aware of your potential? Are you aware of your belief? What's your belief in your ability to do it? And you'll find out that it has a lot to do with how you master the principles that I'm going to share with you throughout this entire series. So the second component of the learning model is based on our current level of belief. What do you really believe that you are capable of achieving in your life? That's a question for you. What do you really believe that you are capable of achieving in your life? One of the books I'm reading and getting some of my clients to read is a book by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, phenomenal book called The Psycho-Cybernetics. And he clearly states that a person does not get what it is they want in their life, that what they get in their life is what they think they are capable of achieving. So what is it that do you really think you're capable of achieving? He says a person does not outperform his own self-image. And you will hear me say this all the time. You listening to me right now, you can never, ever outperform your self-image. Write that down. You can never, ever outperform your self-image. You see, what's happened to many of us is this. The reason you and I may find ourselves stuck wasn't because of the economy. You're not stuck because of the economy. It's not because the customers are bad. It has nothing to do with your employees. No. What happened was that you have reached a level of a self-belief where you never believed that you are worthy of capable of outperforming. Some people don't have an education, but you've put a limit and a dampener on yourself that because I didn't go to school, because I didn't go to uni, then I can't do well. Because I didn't come from a rich home, then I can't be wealthy. No, That's the self-image limitation that you've put on yourself. But when you learn how to change that belief, when you learn how to change that belief, when you learn how to change that self-image, you know what happens? You come into what I call an expanded awareness of your potential and begin to apply these principles that I'm going to be sharing over the next few weeks. Is this helping? Let me know if this is helping. Please type in the comment box. Don't forget, please subscribe. If this is helping, type in the comment box. Let me know that you're following. So how we do everything, is really based on a learning model. How we do everything is based on a learning model. And that learning model, again, is based on our awareness and our current beliefs. And within each learning model, there are principles that you and I must enter. There are principles that you and I must master in order to call that learning model successful. See, even if we expand our awareness, even if we have belief, if we don't learn to master the principles within the model that we're developing, we develop a learning model of failure. We learn a learning model of failure. Let me give you an example of a learning model that I think we all can relate to. There was probably a time in your life where you really had this strong desire to ride a bicycle, right? Anyone with me? There was a strong desire when you were a kid. You had the strong desire to ride a bicycle, right? Anybody had a strong desire to ride a bicycle. But your learning model at that time was probably a learning model of failure. You got on by yourself and you probably fell off the bike. And part of this failure was because you lacked the awareness and understanding of your potential and all the principles within the learning model of riding a bike. I hope this is helping. I hope you understand. Because you lacked the belief in your ability to be able to ride the bike. Even though you may have seen your sister or your brother ride a bike or your neighbor ride a bike. And in order for that learning model of failure to be transformed to a learning model where you are now successfully riding a bike, several things had to happen, right? First, there was a coach. That coach could have been, there was a mentor. That coach could have been your dad, your brother, or sister, or something. But there was probably your mom or your dad or an older brother or sister who stood beside you whilst you sat on that bike, right? And they began to expand your awareness of your potential, telling you things like, you can do it. So when you fell on the bike, you can get up again. You can ride again. They began to share with you a new belief that you could actually ride a bike. What you actually did in that moment was you, in fact, borrowed their belief. You borrowed a new awareness. You borrowed their belief. Then they started to teach you some of the principles about riding a bike. I'm trying to make it as simple. They started teaching some of the principles about riding a bike. Now, with the next learning model, they probably talk to you about, hey, balance, balance, how to balance a bike, hand and eye coordination, muscle dexterity, things like that. And as they stood beside you on the bike and they ran beside you as you pedaled, right, and pushed, they let you go. And chances are you fell. But you recognize that you did pedal 1 or 2 times. And although you did not fully believe you could do it, you decided to act on the borrowed belief of your coach, your mentor, your dad, your auntie, right? That's what happened. So you got back on the bike because now you have a new model, a new learning model. Now you have a new awareness that, hey, I actually pedaled a few times. I actually was able to do something. And again, they began to expand your understanding of the principles, helped you then gain an awareness of your potential that you really could do it. You borrowed their belief. They showed you what you did wrong, right? They encouraged you to do it better, and they helped you master the principles of riding a bike. So each time in the process of failing and getting back on the bike, you expanded your awareness. You expanded your awareness of your potential to ride a bike. I hope this is helping. You gain a better understanding of the principles that change your limiting belief about riding a bike. Now, you now believe there's now something on the inside of you telling you, you can do this. I can ride this bike. I can do this. I did it a few minutes ago, so I can do it. I probably can do it longer. Now, the challenge is this for most of us, in a very short period of time, we learned how to drive a bike. We learned how to ride a bike. And that learning model still sticks with us now for the rest of our lives. Many of you may not have ridden a bike for a long time, but give you a bike tomorrow, you still can go with it. And as I've had the privilege and opportunity of traveling through what I do in music and coaching and walking all over the world with very successful individuals or organizations from all walks of life and fields of endeavor, I looked at lives. I'm always looking at lives. I'm always looking at people's life. And I've been very curious about what are the principles within the learning model for their life achievement. What are the principles that make people successful? And what is it that these people had that or have that seemingly others lack? Then I've come to realize that they were operating with key principles, and these key principles are things we're going to share over the next few weeks as I show up here every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. So I want you to take a look at your life right now. Take a look at your life right now. Look at the areas of your life where you have been really successful. Role play with me. To look at the areas of your life where you have really been very successful, and you're going to find these principles I'm going to be sharing over the next few weeks, and just apply them in various areas of your life. The first set of 10 principles I'm going to be sharing, I intend to show you as you show up over these next few weeks. Make it a date with me every Thursday at 7:30. I want to show you various principles that you can use to live a more successful life, and how you can begin to change your learned behavior and overcome your limiting self-judgments that you may have bought into with counterfeit thoughts. The illustration I gave you about a bike is a basic understanding, but what about something bigger, something greater than just riding a bike without training wheels? What about creating a learning model of achievement for your entire life? What would it be like? Sorry about that. What would it be like? What would it be like for you to change your life? What would it be like for you to change your entire life so you were living your ultimate dream? Right? Now, that takes us to a whole new dimension, a whole new learned process. Ask yourself, am I really ready for this? Am I really, really ready? See, once we self-author or create a mental mode of perfection that we want for our lives, that becomes the first process for us to reach our goal. So, for me in my life, it never occurred to me that I could even change my life. For years, I remained stuck. My learning models and beliefs said that if I was to be successful, that I needed to hang out with a certain type of people. I needed to, I wasn't born in a certain type of family. That was what my learning model was all about. And my awareness of my potential was based on that belief. And guess what? It produced the kind of results that I was having. My learning model, my belief, my awareness said that it takes money to make money. That's what many of us have been taught as a child. Well, I didn't have any money to make. I didn't even have any money to make any money. And my result was I was broke, right? But that learning model was based on a belief of my awareness. But when I changed that, my learning model based on my belief and awareness said that it's better to be safe than sorry. Many of you, I'm sure you find yourself in the same place. So that then stops us from taking a bet on ourselves. Taking a bet on ourselves because we think it's too much of a risk. The truth is this, guys, if you're listening, in order for any of us to achieve success in life, it requires risk. I hope you can write that. In order for any one of us to achieve success in life, it requires risk. So my result was in the past was I settled for less in every area of my life. And there are still areas where I struggle that way. Part of my learning model said that I had to play the hand that I was dealt based on my awareness and belief. So it never occurred to me that I could change my life. If you're listening, if you ever find yourself listening to this, you can still change your life. You can change your life. You can change your results. You can change your circumstances. It never occurred to me that I could change my life. Perhaps you've been told that too, because I found out that it's not true. You can change your life. And if you look at the header on my YouTube, it says change your story. And that's what I'm here. You can change your story. You can change your life. So if you're here, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube notifications and the bell so that, hey, you know when next time come alive. So I found out that not only can we throw our hand, you don't have to live with the hand that's been dealt you. You can choose how you deal with a hand. So if we gain understanding, if we expand our awareness of our potential and begin to move beyond the convictions of our limiting beliefs, begin to move beyond the convictions of our limiting beliefs, if we begin to study and gain an understanding of these power principles I'm going to be sharing in our life, we can, you listening, you and I can become the dealer of the cards in our own life. And I think that's a good thing. This adventure is not, it's not a fishing trip where you are equipped with all necessary gear, but you have no guarantee of catching a fish. No, only a hope. No, this is the journey that begins with understanding who you are as an individual, that you are equipped with all the necessary gear, you are equipped with all the resources that are necessary for you to co-create. That's the word, co-create. To co-create a life that is beyond the conditions and circumstances that you find yourself in. Listen, it has nothing to do with hope and everything to do with belief. This is your chance. The times in which you're living, this is your chance. This is your chance for all of us. We get one chance here on earth. Remember, guys, your life right now is not a dress rehearsal. See, I'm in music and we do dress rehearsal, so we can do it over and over and over again before the main show. But your life right now is not a dress rehearsal. You can never get 7 o'clock back. You can never get 7 p.m. back. It's gone forever. You have been gifted with all the resource that you need, all the resources you need to create the life that you truly want. Trust me. You listening to me right now, you have been gifted with all the resources that you need to create a life that you truly want and deserve. So it's my intention through this series that I'm going to be sharing over this next few weeks, and my highest hope for you to gain a deeper understanding of these truths, that within each of these principles I'm going to share, that you will gain fortitude, that you will come to a place of faith and belief in your ability to create your authentic, successful, rewarding life. Yes, you can create your authentic, successful, rewarding life. And it's my hope that, listen, you believe in yourself and you believe in your ability to achieve. You have mastered many individual challenges in your lifetime. Every one of you listening right now, you have mastered many individual challenges in your lifetime. So now is the time to now master your life. It's now time to master your life. And this is why I'm starting with this first principle of understanding. It's Proverbs 3:13 says, blessed is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding. That's what we're talking about, understanding. Blessed is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding. See, there's a difference between knowing and wisdom. Please write that. There's a difference. There's a whole lot of difference between knowing and wisdom. There's a lot of people in our lives who say they know something. And all of us, I tell people, if you're not doing it, you don't know it. So there's a lot of people in our lives who say they know something. And all of us know how to do better things in our lives, myself included. You know, I'm working on my health in the season that I find myself. But you see, if I sit down there and keep eating bread and eating the things I don't want to do, I shouldn't be eating every day, every night, it's not going to help me reach my life achievements of personal health. So now I'm forcing myself, when I'm training myself, I'm changing my learning model to take more greens, to eat more fruits, to take more vegetables. You see, but you know, the truth is, if I do eat things that I know will not be good for my health in the long run, see, we don't always do what we know, right? In fact, most salespeople know that if they simply ask for referrals and stay connected with their prospects and customers, they would increase their sales. But they don't always do that. Most people know in relationships with our loved ones that if you just started your day and ended each day, you know, with gratitude or just looking into the eyes of your loved one and telling them you love them, the dynamics of things will change. And just remind somebody that you care about them. But we don't always do what we know, right? We don't always do what we know. It's been said that the largest gap in our life is the gap between that which we know and that which we do. The largest gap in life is that gap between that which we know and that which we do. And I believe the bridge between the gap of knowing and doing is understanding. That bridge between the gap of knowing and doing is understanding. When we know something, typically that's a process of gathering information, like we're taught to do in school: read, remember, repeat. Read, remember, repeat. Then we can say we know because we've answered a certain number of questions on the quiz, right? Now listen to this. Understanding requires internalizing the knowledge, stepping out and acting on the knowledge. Understanding requires that you first internalize the knowledge, then you step out and act on the knowledge, understanding the change and the feedback of our results, and the results from the conditions and circumstances in our environment, and then making the necessary adjustments that you need to make in that process. See, in all of my study, I am convinced that the only way we gain true understanding of anything is through a two-step process of study and application. The only way we're going to master anything, the only way we're going to gain true understanding of anything is through study, a process of study and application. And that's what we'll be doing over these next few weeks. I want to give you things you can literally learn and go and apply. And that's what you'll be doing in this power principles that we share. We'll study each of these principles I'm going to bring each week. And we're going to get ourselves to where we're going to become emotionally involved with them. You will do what Zig Ziglar says, a checkup from the neck up with each of these principles. You can evaluate each of these principles in relationship to your own life. And then with each principles, I will try and share some simple things you can do to apply that understanding to your life. So you will see, if you follow me on this journey, what begins to change in your life. You'll begin to see how your stories begin to change, how your story begins to change from your experience. Then you can ask yourself, when you learn something new, like what you've learned today, you ask yourself, how do I apply these principles in my new learning? To what area of my life? How do I apply these new principles in my new learning? How does this change my conditions? How does this change my circumstances? What is the feedback that I've gotten from this? Sometimes we define the feedback as failure. No, sometimes we define the feedback also as success. The truth is, it's neither success nor failure. It's feedback. It's feedback that allows us to reevaluate and make the necessary adjustments and then take the next step forward in our lives. So if I've learned anything through my understanding and learning of these principles, it's that the conditions and circumstances of our lives can never and will never predict what is possible in our lives. Let me say it to you. The conditions and circumstance in your life right now, whatever you're going through right now, whatever circumstance you find yourself right now, can never and will never predict what is possible for you in your life. I hope you get that. I hope you write that. The condition, one thing I've learned, wherever you are right now, can never predict where you can be. The conditions and the circumstances that you're currently going through in your life right now can never and will never predict what is possible for you in your life. And you're probably going to hear me say that when I teach you each one of these principles. The conditions and circumstances of our lives can never and will never predict what is possible for our lives. If you didn't pick anything, I hope you can take that today. The conditions and circumstances of our lives can never and will never predict what is possible for us in our lives in the future. And this is why you and I, we've been gifted. We've been gifted with imagination. We've been gifted with our ability to co-create the mental model of perfection beyond the limiting circumstances and conditions that we find ourselves, such that you and I can live into a fuller expansion of the life that we've been created to live. As far as we know it, in this entire universe, you and I are the only beings. We're the only beings. We're the only creatures that have been gifted with this power of imagination. We're the only beings that have been gifted with this power to create a life beyond our current conditions and circumstances. You would never drive down a road, where there are animals and see one of the cows jump on the fence or talk to the other animals. Hey, there's a car coming. Hey, listen, we don't have to be cows anymore. Let's change our lives. No. We can be giraffes. No. We can be dogs. No. Because they don't have the ability to change their lives. But you and I, starting from today, in every single moment of our lives, every single day, we have been gifted with the ability to change. We have been gifted with the ability to get a better life, to change our story, to change our lives. You know, for me, for so many years, I didn't believe that. And I wasn't aware of my potential. And I didn't understand the principles of how to do it. See, when we say, I can no longer accept this for my life, that's a turning point. So over the next few weeks, or especially the next 10 weeks, I'm going to share with you that this process of understanding that moment where you can no longer accept what is going on in your life anymore in your life, where you and I now begin to co-create with God, where we begin to walk with the power that I define who is our creative source, who is God as the grand overall designer. I've come to notice that there is a power that you and I can co-create our lives with when we expand our awareness of our infinite potential, of our infinite true potential, when we challenge the convictions of our old limiting beliefs and begin to replace them with new empowering beliefs that I'm going to be sharing over this next few weeks. So you can always listen to any of the things on my YouTube channel here. There would always be stuff that you can pick up and begin to change those beliefs. When we gain a true understanding of who we are, and more importantly, whose we are, and apply the power principles in our lives, we will never again be held in a field of limitation of what we currently have and see for our lives. Guys, I want to invite you to a journey. Join me every Thursday. I'm going to be here every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. Engage with the content on my page. You know, there's always going to be stuff you can learn from on my page, be it the conversations I have with my guests, be it the things I come out to share. This is me also putting my dreams to the test and changing the paradigms. You will definitely, there's always going to be so much you can learn from my YouTube page here. So guys, please share this video. Please click on subscribe. Let's get many subscribers, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when I'm going live. But I'm telling you ahead of time, I'm committed to trying to be here every Thursday at 7:30 to just teach something for half an hour. I hope you've learned something. Once again, this is Aaron T. Aaron. Some know me as Coach Aaron. And like one of my mentors, John Maxwell, would say, I am your friend. I am your friend. And I want us to win in this journey. And my other friend, my other mentor, Paul Martinelli, will say, and he's one of those people who brought this awareness to me, would say, hold your image. All right, guys, until next week, I hope you have been blessed. I hope you have learned something. I want to keep this short. See you next week, Thursday. And on Monday, I'm also going to be having an interview with a guest. So, hey, guys, tune into this YouTube channel, and you're going to be getting loads of information. God bless. Have a great week and a great weekend ahead. Bye.